Hey guys, so I'm here today to give you guys a book review and I'm really excited about it. You have no idea. Today we're going to be talking about The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. Can we just enjoy this cover of dogs? Like, isn't it just gorgeous? Don't you just... Summer. So I was sent this book to review by Simon & Schuster and I am so incredibly grateful. I am literally reviewing this April 6th. This book doesn't come out until May 3rd, which is when you're seeing it, probably. So I'm just really excited to get this arc, and I actually put off finishing Lady Midnight for this, and I gotta say, 110% worth it. Totally amazing. You don't even know. If you're unaware, Morgan Matson is a contemporary author, and she's put out 3 books, not including this one. This is her new book coming out May 3rd. And this is something that I didn't know I was excited for until it showed up in my mailbox, and I couldn't contain my excitement. I have an unboxing up for this, and it's really funny because everybody is commenting, and they're like, Jenna, I haven't seen you this excited like ever. This is so great. You look so happy. And I was like, I know, guys, so happy. That being said, going into this book, I really knew nothing, and I realized that that is something that I do. I don't like looking up summaries for books because I just assume they're going to be good, especially when they're from an author that I really like, and so I was just kind of like, contemporary, summer, good things, and that's about all I got. So, I think it's better not going into it knowing anything, but if you want to check out the summary, you can do that. Can you stop being noisy? If you want to know what I thought about this book really quick off the bat, no spoilers, I gave it a 91 on my rubric. This is something that I've been doing this year, and I will have this linked in the down bar. Yes, I gave it a 91 overall, lower rating than I expected, but less because I, didn't enjoy it, if that makes sense, and more because there were some things about it. It was just really white. That was my main issue. That's the only reason I think it's kind of problematic. It's really white. Lots of white people, no diversity. But otherwise, a great read. So it got a 91. All right, cool. So I can't really tell you that much without spoiling you. I just really want to talk about this book. So if you have not read it yet and you don't want to be spoiled, leave. But also, if you haven't read her other books, read them before this, especially since you've been gone. I have a review of that book up, actually, and Amy and Rogers. I just haven't read Second Chance Summer yet. Don't hate me. All right, let's talk. I absolutely adored this book. Going into it, I was a little bit nervous because the beginning was kind of weird and slow, and I didn't think I liked Andy that much as a person. However, she had a very nice character arc throughout the whole thing, so by the middle, I was really into it a lot. And so this morning, I started about halfway, and I read the rest of the half of it today, and it's 4 p.m. I'm on top of things. It's not even 2 a.m. or anything. It's a good read, very good. So obviously The Unexpected Everything follows our wonderful main character of Andy, Alexandria. I would like to point out, these are some of the weirdest contemporary book names I think I've ever read, and I've read a fair amount of contemporary. I just want to know, Morgan, where did Toby Hannah come from? Do you know somebody named Toby Hannah? Because if you do, I think we need to have an intervention. That's a weird name. Andy is a really interesting character because she starts out the book being a typical type A person. She's very in control. She has an internship set up. Her dad is a congressman, and so she is kind of political herself, even though she's not into politics. She has that political professional persona. And so right off the bat, I was just you are not my kind of person. I do not hang out with people like that. Actually, that's not true. I have a lot of nursing friends. But anyways, I usually that's not me. So when I was reading it, I was great, you want to go into biology and doctor things. Awesome. And so it was kind of hard to get into her character at that moment. But, oh my goodness, guys, she's so great. And I love how much she's grown throughout the book. There were a couple sections that I was really, Andy? Really? Mainly the ending, but she just is so great, and she walks dogs, and she's really cute and funny, and I just like her. I think she's really great, really good. 3 other best friends in her friend group, and so we have Toby Hannah, aka Toby, Palmer, and last but not least, Sabrina. Alright, cool. I just was always thrown off by all these names because they're just not typical. Not a bad thing, just not typical. And so the whole time I was alright, guy named Christopher goes by Topher. all right, just roll with it. It's fine. I loved her friend group. I thought it was really awesome how Morgan used a bunch of like emojis and texting and stuff, which also Toby's emoji dare thing was really hilarious. But I thought that was really cool because she didn't do any playlists in this book, so it was kind of like choosing playlists or texting, and she went with the texting on this one. And there's another thing, but we'll get to that later. So her friend group is obviously really close, and it was really awesome actually to read about that, because I feel like a lot of other books, like her last book since you've been gone, focused a lot on like best friend relationship of like, I need you, you're the coolest thing in my life, we're awesome together. And this one, it was a little bit more group dynamic. When I was growing up, like in high school especially, I had this group of friends. It wasn't like 4 core friends, but like I just had a bunch of friends and we were all in this same group. We didn't have this dynamic, but like through this dynamic, I saw a bunch of things that I recognized and things that I also wish would have happened to me, because as usual, Morgan's books always just making me wish for things that will never ever happen to me and can never happen to me because I'm not in high school anymore. So that's a bummer. Mainly, I just really liked their group dynamic, how they were like, let's go to the beach today, let's go to the movies today, let's just hang out at the diner. Like, me and my friends just didn't do that, so it was really like, nostalgic, but even though it never happened to me, like, it's still, I don't know, it was weird, but I really like their group. They're really fun together. And of course, Palmer is dating Tom, who is this like really dorky guy, but really cute, who's like an actor and he really loves plays and all that jazz. And I thought that was really cute. I don't know, I just really like books that have cute groups like this, where it's like friends all hanging out, having fun, eventually not having fun, but mostly having fun. And it was just like nice to not have it focused on the main character, I guess. Like, even though it was really focused on Andy, like, you could tell that, like, these other relationships really mattered and they weren't just, like, random characters thrown in there, so I really enjoyed that. The other characters we have in this book, like I said, we have Topher, who is a random dude who she kind of hooks up with sometimes, but doesn't actually hook up with, just kisses. And then we have her dad, who was a really great character, and I loved him more than I thought I should. But he's just such a cool character because I love his character arc, how at the beginning he's like, I don't know anything about you, I don't know when you went to prom, I don't really care. And then he like has this moment where he switches and he's like, just kidding, let's go watch John Wayne movies together, I love you again. And like, I don't know what that says about me. I do have a similar, like, distant relationship with my dad, so I kind of, like, recognize that at the beginning. I wish my relationship could turn into Andy and her dad's relationship, but what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? But I really like that part of this book because I don't know, I just really connect with my dad, and so reading about it in this one, it was like, it was similar to how I felt in Aristotle and Dante, Discover the Secrets of the Universe, because there's a dad relationship there, but this one was like if everything went right in my life, like this could happen, but it just, you know, we're getting too personal, I'm gonna back off. The other person in this book, guys, can we get excited for Clark, new book boyfriend? Yes. It's amazing that contemporary authors can still come up with unique, wonderful, cute, dorky boys, like, not fair. Just not right, not fair. Going into it, like I said, I didn't know a lot about the book. Obviously there was going to be romance because it's Morgan Matson and that's what happens, but I really didn't know what was going to happen, and so it was really great to meet Clark. Like, I kind of knew at the beginning he was going to be like the end-all guy, and I did guess that he was actually the fantasy writer, but it was just a really unique plotline. Especially, okay, let's talk about Mr. Clark Bruce McAllister, fantasy writer extraordinaire. I don't know if you all thought this. I'm sure you did, because it seems like it would be a common thought, but this book has a bunch of excerpts from Clark's novels. And so, this first one, you're like, what is this? Who is this book? What is going on? I don't care. It's just a stupid quote. And then it shows up more than once, and you're like, this is important. What is this book? And then you come to find out it's fake. It doesn't exist. It's just a fantasy book that is never written. And immediately, once I figured this out, I was like, so you're saying we could get Carry On again with Morgan Matson? Can this happen? Can I petition this? I'm gonna ask her if I meet her ever. I'm gonna ask her about it. But no, I have this sudden feeling of like deja vu. Like, we did this with Fangirl. It's like the boy version, but like not fan fiction, actual fiction. I don't know. I just like got really excited because I was like, what if this happens someday? We could read about Tamsin and how she dies. Rude, Clark. Why would you do that? Clark's relationship with Andy is really cute. Clark in general is just a really cute, like awkward guy. Like I feel like if I were a guy, I would probably be Clark, like that awkward guy who doesn't know how to handle dogs, sometimes writes weird fantasy things, but really is just like this awkward guy who's like, I think you're kind of cute, but like, I don't know how to tell you and I can't really ask you out. Like, that would be me. I'm Clark, but the girl version. Oh, Jenna Clark. Everybody says Jenna Clark, so I'm basically Clark. I love the fantasy book aspect of this because it created some really funny moments. Mainly the scene where Clark is talking to her and he's like, what do you mean you don't read? And she's like, no, I mean I read textbooks all the time. He's like, that's not reading. And immediately in that moment I was like, Clark would be a booktuber if he had more confidence. And then of course, you know, Andy gets the audiobooks and I was like, I feel you, girl. Getting hooked on those audiobooks in the summer, I'm just so excited. Can you like feel the excitement? I'm really excited. I have so much to say. Another thing that I really loved about this book, it's kind of a twofer. Mainly like the summer aesthetic that goes with the Morgan Matson book, but also the dog. I will tell you a quick story about my dog experiences. Before I was in high school, I was a cat person. I'm still a cat person through and through. I think cats are cuter and they're just more fun. I mean, because they're like laid back. But when I was in high school, my best friend Laura, like I don't even know when this started, but she just became like overly obsessed with dogs. And so she started this thing, like whenever she sees a dog, she first of all gets very excited. Second of all, we'll try and take a picture. Third of all, she'll be like, pup, 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 pup. So basically, anytime I see a dog out in real life now, I'm obligated to say pup. And so because of that, I've become hyper aware of dogs, and I now really like dogs, even though like I personally could not handle a dog. They're too much energy for me. I love dogs. They're great. And so when I started reading this, like you get the hint that it's about dogs with the dogs on the cover, but like once they started describing the dogs and stuff, I was like, oh my gosh, I've never read a book like this about dog walking. This is great. I would love to do that. And then I realized I don't like walking dogs or picking up dog poo or dealing with dogs, so that wouldn't work. But it was still a really cool concept to like add into this summer aesthetic of like dog walking in the summer. And just summer aesthetic, man. I talk about this in all my Morgan Matson reviews. This woman is like the summer queen. I don't think I've met anybody who can describe summer as great as Morgan Matson. Mainly her writing is just so incredible, the way she can describe things, because I have trouble reading descriptions, and so when I was reading her books, I'm just always in awe of like, I want to read every description. I need to know that there is a towel that is like right there, the same color and pattern as the chairs by the pool. I needed to know that, thank you. And I get really caught up in the details in these books because like, I just want summer. It's April right now. I want summer. I want to go into the sun and sit and read my book. Yeah, this book was just so summery, and it's exactly what I wanted and what I needed, and I'm just like, yes. Thank you, Morgan Matson. You are wonderful. The other thing that I really love, Morgan Matson, she's really great at, you know, just like connecting things. And so I realized that I love it when contemporary authors connect all their books because it just makes it, I don't know, it's like a treasure hunt. So in this book, there were a lot of Since You've Been Gone references because Andy goes to the same high school that Emily Hughes from Since You've Been Gone goes to. And so at first they're like very subtle and you're like, we got pizza from Captain Pizza. And you're like, heck yeah, man, I know that place. And then they talk about Paradise Ice Cream, and then they're in the diner and Frank Porter is there and you're like, oh, I know Frank Porter. Frank Porter is my bae. He's great. And then after that, she comments on Emily Hughes is dating him and you're like, my little baby Emily, I love her. You know, and then it goes on. And finally we're like in full swing of the scavenger hunt. And they go into Captain Pizza. And I just thought this was great. Not because it's sentimental or anything, well it kind of is. But like, they go in there and freaking Dawn takes their order. And then they're like, we need your shirt. And she's like, why? And they're like, well, we're doing a scavenger hunt. And we have this list. And she like looks over at Emily and she's like, oh, I know something about lists. Or something like that. Or she's like, oh, you have a list, really? Huh, lists. And she like looks at Emily and Emily's like, ignore my friend. And you're like, hey, I read about you. You're great. It's like seeing old friends, but like not, because they're not real. Isn't that sad? Anyways, I loved all the references. I think there were a couple to Amy and Rogers because we're talking about like Colorado and Colorado College or whatever. I haven't read it in a while, so don't quote me on that. I don't know if there are any Second Chance Summer references because I did not read Second Chance Summer yet. I'm sorry. I'm a bad person. I will read it soon. But I gotta spread out Morgan Matson. You can't read her all at once or else you're like lost. Like, what am I supposed to read after this? Lady Midnight. But yeah, this book was so incredible and I really, really loved it. Like I said, the only problem I had with it was kind of like slow at the beginning, which I can accept, it's okay. And it was just really white. I gotta comment on it because it's important. You need more diversity, Morgan. But I still loved it. It was great. Like, from my personal perspective, I highly enjoyed it. I was squealing and crying and laughing the whole time. And honestly, it was just great. I don't know where it stands in the grand scheme of her books because Since You've Been Gone has a special place in my heart. But, like, Amy and Rogers was so good. And, like, Clark McAllister. So I don't really know if it's my favorite. It's definitely up there. I kind of think that her 3 books that I've read tie. I don't know if that's a thing that can happen, but personally, I think they're all great. This one was really good, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I would love to hear your comments down below. Let me know if you have anything you'd ever want to ask Morgan Matson, and we will hopefully have a great summer just like Andy did, but no drama, please. Let me know in the comments, and I will talk to you guys later. Happy April. No, it's May. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.